Good afternoon, everyone, and I want to thank you for joining us and being patient with us. I'm going to start with the school readiness updates as soon as I find my agenda here. Okay, school readiness updates. I'm going to talk about the QPS registrations and the SR class assessments. Some of you I have already contacted about your 2-week windows and getting ready to do your observations. It will be the ELC staff, the provider relations staff, who will be contacting you when it's time for you to do your QPS registrations. And we will be calling you to confirm everything before we approve. QPS registration is only for your school readiness classrooms and your teachers. Please do not count subs or janitors or floaters. And of course, if you have any questions about QPS or your class observations, you can give me a call at extension 236, or you can reach Miss Melissa at extension 223. VPK class assessments are different. VPK class, every single classroom has to be observed throughout this program year. And with VPK do not get blackout dates. School readiness assessments, the providers can choose 3 blackout dates during the 2-week window, but VPK does not have that option. And again, you can always email us at quality@elc-marion.org if you have questions about those blackout dates for school readiness or VPK rules. And we are still trying to get the sound portion for Elizabeth to work. So I'll just go a little bit further here, and I'll talk a little bit about the program. PM1s. PM1s for VPK providers are due within the first 30 days of the start of your classroom's dates. So please look at your date that your classroom started and count 30 days to make sure that you get those PM1 assessments started. Remember, it is extremely important that only teachers and directors who have the FAST Getting Started Training Certificate are the only people who can administer the PM1s, 2s, and 3s. That's very, very important. Another very, oh, we got something. I hear some sound. Hey, I hear Janet. You're
Yes,
with us, providers.
I'm still here.
Okay. All right. I'm going to talk real fast about the STAR parent report because it's so very, very important. VPK programs are required to provide a student's performance results from the assessment to the student's parents within 7 calendar days after the administration of the assessment. So note that is not business days. 7 calendar days from the date that you complete the child's assessment, you must provide that report to the parents. And in the handouts that you're getting, the next bullet down tells you that the VPK programs must provide the STAR parent report. The parent report provides a printable informational letter for parents or guardians, and it is available in English and Spanish. And the link to the running the instructions is right here on this handout for you. So you can click right on that link if you need it.
Mary, I'm going to jump in a little.
Go right ahead.
I just want to remind providers that it is a best practice to save a copy of the STAR parent report. This is a backup documentation for you to show that you have completed that PM period for your students, okay? You can save the hard copy on file in your office. It's not required for you to upload to BlueJeans. I know that some providers do that, but it's not required for you to upload them to BlueJeans. Just as a best practice, again, make sure you're saving a copy of that as backup documentation for yourself, okay? Also, I want to share with you that there are additional tips for you guys. This is for our VPK providers with dealing with Renaissance and FAST. It's additional tips for you for children who fall in that non-participation status, okay? It has details on what to mark that child as when they fail 3 attempts, or they just are not able to complete the assessment. Um, and there are some frequently asked questions there too. I want to encourage you guys to save a copy of these tips for yourself. You can hang it up in your office. That way you can review them and go over them with your teachers to know what to mark the children um, as for their non-participation status. Okay? Do we have any questions um, at all from anything that you just heard regarding school readiness, class assessment that's coming up, or VPK information that was just given?
I'm not seeing anything in the chat right now.
Okay, thank you, Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna do a check on Elizabeth to see if, okay, she's still trying.
Okay,
Okay.
that's okay. Do we have any partners on the call that would like to put something in the chat box to let me know you're here? I do want to reach out to all providers who very promptly sent us their emails letting us know what days they close for the hurricane. We very much appreciate that. And from what we've heard so far, everybody's been safe, and we are so thankful and grateful about that. Okay, Michaela's going to be coming next.
Hello, everyone. Okay,
Hi, Michaela. We
I'm
can
gonna,
hear you.
okay, I'm going to speak briefly on attendance documentation and sending in for reimbursement. Based off of your contract, the providers agreed to document daily attendance and submit monthly attendance reports for payment. The provider agrees to submit all required attendance records to the coalition on or before the third business day of each month. If the due date falls on a holiday, the provider agrees to submit all required attendance records to the coalition on the preceding business day. Any records submitted late will be processed and paid in the next open payment cycle. We do realize that some of you do experience issues. If you do have any issues, you would need to contact EFS MI and let them know so that they can assist you or have you come in and use our things to help you submit your documents. Okay, also, the school readiness and VPK monitors have started. The counselors will be coming out. They are still unannounced visits. If you are needing a copy of the blank monitoring tool, you can reach out to me either by phone or by email, and then I can get that information over to you. Okay, anyone have any questions?
Hey, this is Elizabeth. Can you guys hear me?
We hear you.
Yay. Okay.
Hey.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for your patience. Now I need to mute the other computer. And okay, let's get sharing again. So you just heard a lot of updates. There are some, can you guys still hear me? Now I'm paranoid that you won't be able to hear me.
No, we can hear you.
Okay. Let me go down to questions because I think we did have some questions, and let me make that bigger because I do want to make sure we answer all your questions. And I'm sorry, Lily is, as you guys know, school's back in session, and Lily, our staff, it has gone around with our staff. COVID is back, so please be very careful. Lily is out not feeling well, so keep her in your thoughts if you will, please. And let me look at the questions that we already have coming in. Okay. Cannot hear you. Can see the screen and the mouse moving, but no audio. Thank you again for your patience. Let's see. Sounds like providers, you guys could have maybe have heard me. Okay, so I think we may be changing our platform up. GoToMeeting, while it has served its purpose, it is not functioning real well in our systems. So I would love some feedback. I would like to go to Teams and use Teams as the next platform for this call. Okay, so some of the questions. One of the questions, we are not able to get into programs since last year with no help from anyone, even though we have reported it. I'm not sure if you're talking about Renaissance. If you are talking about Renaissance, Janet and Lily are our go-to person. I can help in a pinch as well. I was able to help somebody log in this morning. I am wondering if that was your question. The next question is, we are still trying to add one student to our VPK roster, but not, I can't edit anything anymore. Who should I contact? I'm gonna say for your VPK roster, so you're trying to get a child enrolled, just go ahead and send us a message at quality@elc-marion, and one of our staff will help troubleshoot what's going on. So Mary or Melissa, Melissa will be back in the office tomorrow. Janet, myself, Michelle Urban is our guru with enrollments for VPK. What is the rule on absence? 3 unexcused and 10 documented absences. The rule on absences is, yes, you have the 3 unexcused, and then with a parent note, you can document up to 10 additional, so 13 total. And Sarah said, now I can't hear Elizabeth. Can you all not hear me, or you can hear me? Okay. Okay. Whew, thank you. I'm a little paranoid. I want to compliment your staff and their quick and effective help with VPK COEs this year. Oh, thank you. That means the world to us. As you guys know, just like you, we're all in this together, and we've all been facing a lot of things, from ARPA to everything else. And then the question about Renaissance. Okay, so that provider, we'll reach out to you again. I forwarded your emails over to our staff. So I heard somebody want to chime in. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to let the people who are having trouble with Renaissance, if you can send me an email to let me know who you are. There is a new login directions that I can send you.
Yes, and there is, so in our packet here on the screen, and I'm trying to scroll down. So I'm connected through my desktop computer, but I'm running this meeting from a different computer. So it's very interesting over on my side today. Let me scroll down. I would encourage you to go ahead and download this packet that you're looking at right here. It has the agenda, and then it has it has our new staff listing on it. A lot of you have asked for that, so you know exactly who to get to and how. I'm going to keep going. This agenda is 7 pages because it has a lot of info you can go back to after this meeting is over. And the VPK updates are all right here. And those are what Janet and Mary were talking about earlier. And the school readiness update that Mary covered is here. And I have to publicly thank my team because I was having such difficulty getting on and they just jumped right in. So Janet, Mary, Michaela, Sienna, Latricia, everybody, thank you so much. So there's some fast STAR early literacy tips here. And there is a letter in here that gives you the link. Let me keep going down. I would tell you to share these tips with those that are certified to do the FAST assessment. Let me keep going down. I'm almost there, promise. Dear VPK providers, it's this letter here. So it's the very last page in your packet. This is the new portal. So that may be what part of the challenge is. You might want to start with, trying to connect through that portal and then let us know if it's still not working for you and we can jump in. And it might be us being on the same phone call together. That was how I was able to help a provider this morning. So let me pause and go back to our questions. Nassance, okay, no further questions right now. Awesome, okay. So I'm gonna jump right back up to our agenda and I want to talk about Hurricane Idalia. So with the hurricane that we experienced, we were very lucky. Those of you, if you keep Crystal River and Tallahassee and some of our counterparts up north in your prayers and your thoughts because they didn't have it so lucky. So Crystal River is basically all river now. So just keep them in your thoughts. For you all, thank you for being so prompt and going ahead and letting us know you were closed. For school readiness providers, you are going to be paid whether you remained open or closed. We did have some providers that stayed open for both days. And I know that the families that showed up and needed you to be open were very grateful for that. Our providers, you guys amaze me every day. The school readiness providers, though, you will be paid for your enrollment. So you're going to be paid for anybody that is enrolled at your site for school readiness for August 29th and August 30th. So even if you remained open, when you're going to claim your attendance, you can still submit your sign in and out sheets from that day, but you are going to be paid for both of those days for your enrollments. For VPK providers, we are trying to find out who would like to make up the days for VPK or who would like to use emergency closure days. So for VPK, the rule is that you have 5 days throughout the entire program year that you can use without having to make up that time on your calendar. We've heard from several of you that you're just, you know what, I don't want to mess with my calendar, just leave it be. I'm using emergency days, and that is fine. Some of you have said, I do want to make up the time. And for you all, we are working with Joseph, who is with EFS Mod here in our office, and he is entering all closures for both school readiness and VPK. So once we know that you want to make up your time, we're going to adjust your emergency closure setting and allow you to change your calendar. Okay, so your calendar would have to have 540 hours back on it. So you can either extend a day or two with a special arrangement. You can add a day or two to the end of your calendar, or you can take off a holiday day somewhere in there. It's however you want to work that out. Make sure you communicate with your families on what you're doing with that. Something really important though with that is if you're updating your calendar, we need to make sure that that is submitted and that our team approves it before you can submit your attendance. So let me pause for a second and see. So we don't have any questions. So hopefully that you guys understood that. Unfortunately, we've had too many, we have too many hurricanes that we've been through over the past few years. We're getting better at this than I'd like to be. Okay, so we do have one question. Michaela, this one is for you. Can the Blink monitoring tool for school readiness be emailed to my site? We have an observation next week, and the answer is yes, we can get that done for you. So I'll make sure that our compliance team can send that to you. And then the next question or comment we have, we were open on the 29th. However, some of the children that have ELC did not attend. I understand we're going to get paid, but does that day count as an absence for that child? No, you won't even be able to enter that in your calendar. So all emergency closure days will already be marked on your attendance rosters as you go to complete them. When you start to do that this evening, tomorrow, or whenever you get that done. So that being said, attendance at this time, we are not extending the deadline for attendance being due. Your attendance and your sign in and out sheets will be due on the 3rd business day. We do have a holiday coming up though, so that does extend that to everything must be submitted by September 6th at midnight, okay? We are upholding the contract. We have to, as far as that requirement for the 3 business days. So please, if you have an issue, we need to know right away. Shoot us an email and let us know. Do we get paid for VPK children absent if we remained open? Not if they're absent, no. You would claim them for, well, it's the 80-20 rule for a VPK. So it depends on how many additional absences that child has had throughout the month. Okay. Let me give it a second, make sure nobody else has any questions about how we're handling Idalia. From what I've heard though, everybody has stayed safe and there was no damage. There's a little bit of power outage and a little bit of internet outage in our community. But other than that, everybody stayed safe and I'm grateful for it. So I know Mary had asked if we had any partner updates. Providers and those of you on the call, this is your call. This is your meeting. So if you ever want to speak up, if you want to say anything, you can raise your hand and we can unmute you. But I have everybody unmuted now. So, you know, you can jump in anytime or you can submit a question. You can put a chat in. This is your meeting. So while we bring the agenda, you bring the fun. All right, so the next thing up on this on our agenda right now is the ARPA grant funding update. So we, many of you might have noticed a direct deposit in your account. There was a, okay, let me back up. ARPA, remember ARPA round 1 and then ARPA round 2. And then there was an ARPA round 2 final payment. And now there's an ARPA round 2 final payment. We really mean it this time, final payment that came out. So you all have been allotted an additional amount of funding through the ARPA grant. There is a deposit that you'll want to look for. It probably happened yesterday. I believe it was scheduled to go to everybody by the 30th. Some of you may have gotten them today. There will be a certification through EFS Mod that you will need to certify for these funds, okay? It is basically just stating the things that you said before, which is that you were legally operating, and Marcy just walked herself right into my office so she can help me say this the right way. You were legally operating, you were not terminated for cause, all those different things. So if you have any questions about that, please let us know. But those funds are yours. They are part of the ARPA grant. And that goes along with all the other deposits that we've been trying to make. So let me pause and see if there's any questions. I don't see any other questions coming in. Marcy, did I say that right? No, I have to go in over here. Challenges.
Yes. It's just the standard certifications that they seeing in regards to ones that they had before, and the people who will be receiving those are the ones who had the last ARPA phase 2 final payments.
Yep. So if you got the ARPA round 2 final payment, then you got this payment as well. So question, do we know when CQI funding is coming out? Soon.
Uploaded that into the accounting system. I have a couple more challenges to get everybody in there. Hurricane, of course, delayed, so beginning of next week.
I don't know if you guys could hear Marcy, but she said the beginning of next week. Bear with us. We're still cleaning up some things that happened with the Workforce Initiative. I know we have some frustrated teachers that have been calling our office saying that they didn't get their funding. We have been going over each of your accounts with a fine-tooth comb to make sure we're capturing all of the teachers that you submitted documentation for the upskill and retainment grant. That's through the Workforce Initiative. That's the grant where teachers were getting, we had over 700 teachers. So kudos to Marcy, over 800 now, she just told me. Kudos to Marcy and her team for how much they are processing through. And Elizabeth Bench, or some of you might know her as Lizzie. We have 3 Elizabeths in this office, by the way. Lizzie Bench has been really doing the research when you're going, I didn't get paid, or where is this teacher's money, or what is this? So she's been really, really trying hard, and we appreciate your patience. We understand that some people were depending on certain funds, but please know with grant funding, we roll it out as fast as we can, and this is above and beyond any typical funding that we have. So it is never our intention to let you down or to not meet a deadline or to miss something we said we were going to do. But when you have 800 individuals getting a paycheck plus, and that's above and beyond what we're normally doing every single day, it's a heavy lift. So we appreciate those of you that have shown extreme patience with us, and we ask that you continue to do so, because we're going to work through this, and there's more to come. So just stay tuned, and I would say if it comes to September 30th and you still don't have your funds, give us a call. Don't wait that long. Let us know, because there could very well be an issue. So let me stop there. Doesn't look like we have any questions for that.
The ones that
Okay. I don't know if you heard Marcy. She said that there is additional payments going out for the Workforce Initiative for any issues that we found, or backup documentation that we had to collect from you still. We are doing our best to pay everybody who should be getting paid. So thank you. Okay. So I want to, Marcy's skedaddling out of here. Thank you, Marcy. I want to talk to you about the early learning community needs survey before I go into a couple more deeper things. So thank you to those of you that participated. This was a really quick assessment of what you were looking for and what you've been going through, and just I appreciate how fast you responded. I sent 110 surveys out and I got 39 back. I'm not sad about that. So thank you. It was really quick. I know you had a lot going on, but what I want to share with you is just some of the real high level details. I'm still vetting some of the information in the comments that you all gave. I want to say thank you to Andrew Goberton, Erlene Cart, Cecil Wilson, thank you so much. Those are your provider representatives. They met with myself and Marcy and Latricia and Carrie, and we met for about 2.5 hours to talk about the needs of our early learning community and upcoming program opportunities. So this is coming from an allotment of additional ARPA funding that the coalition is receiving. We're in the process of putting together an application that's going to the Department of Early Learning and our Division of Early Learning, I'm sorry. That's now a part of the Department of Education. Woo, goodness. And so they helped us vet down certain programming that we are going to try to fund over this coming fiscal year. So some of the highlights are most of the respondents are serving less children than you were before COVID. That's very alarming because your costs have gone up. So this grant funding that you've received that we've been able to process through ARPA and SERSA and all these other programs have been vital to keeping you afloat. And I know it, and a lot of you have expressed that. 60% of you currently have a staffing shortage. I don't think anybody is surprised by that. Some of you are fully staffed, and I bet you me, those of you that claim that you're fully staffed on there, I'm going to be calling you to say, how'd you do it? So that we can copy your greatness. Many of you have a wait list for enrollment, and a lot of that was due to not being able to open classrooms. A lot of you have just buildings with classrooms sitting empty, fully stocked, ready to go. You just don't have a person to teach in there. So there's some things that we're trying to do to help with that. As far as needs go, I wanted to kind of get an idea of where you were at. So highest needs for providers, and of course, this matches, right? The improving staff retention and hiring. And it was a tie for two with helping with parent engagement and help with class and curriculum support. So we're going to use this information to kind of plan out some of our upcoming professional development opportunities and informational sessions, things like that with you. So stay tuned. And then some of you said you really could use some help understanding the DCF licensing requirements or ELC contracting requirements. And then lastly, which this really surprised me, was help managing money and accounting practices. I can tell you we've seen some challenges with some accounting practices when we're doing our monitoring for the ARPA grants, where we have to collect those budgets back and the things that you spent your money on. So we probably are going to offer up some support there too. Even if you feel like you're good at it, I always find value in taking classes and things that I think I'm good at because I learned something new. So, and then there was several of you, and I'm so proud of you, that said, we don't need anything right now. Things are going really well. And honestly, I would love to start a group with that too, because I wanna share what you're doing so well with our community. And I wanna share what you're excelling at with our counterparts so that you know your colleagues, and this is an early learning community, can take what's working well and implement it at their locations too. Sorry, I needed a drink. Okay, so over to the programming side. Our new ELC programming, I'm so sorry. Incentives, which is a program that will pay a differential twice a year to your staff for their education level and education that they're acquiring. So the degrees, kind of like what we did with the Workforce Initiative, only this is an ongoing program. It is amazing for staff retention. It works very well. It's all over the country. In other places, they call it wages. You may have heard of it as wages. So we're in the process, and we've already started the talks with the Children's Forum in Tallahassee. They are the managing entity for incentives program, and it's actually spelled with the $ as the S. And it's basically a ladder up to pay people for the training and the professional development that they've invested in, so that the ultimate goal is kindergarten readiness for our kids, right? High quality early learning setting. The second one you all voted on was outdoor classrooms. So we are going to look at a different way of building up your outdoor learning spaces and building up these classrooms. And it's not just a playground. This is an outdoor learning environment where your teachers, your staff can go out into your setting outside and really teach and really embrace the nature that we have, or the heat that we have, or the hurricanes that we have, of course, safely. But this is going to be a big endeavor, and it's going to be amazing for those that are able to take advantage of it. Third, you all voted on childcare teacher director mental health support. So we're still looking at ways that we can spend approved ways of spending our money. And I'm looking at those different programs that you offer your staff, whether it's counseling, whether it's gym memberships, yoga classes, other things to help them de-stress and organize themselves and just get on a better accord with their own mental health. Number 4 was the community needs assessment. This is really taking a inventory of what is going on in our entire county when it comes to early learning and children and families and their education. So this would be hiring an outside entity to really assess what's going on in the state where we're at and then where we hope to be. It will help guide future planning and programming and help the coalition create a strategic plan. And usually these things, like strategic plans, are usually about 5 years, right? And you go and you have benchmarks, and we will be creating another program committee. I used to have this years ago, so we'll be getting outside input for these programs and really looking at this needs assessment once it's completed to plan future goals for us. And then lastly is the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. You all know the coalition. We're here and known in the community for giving books away to children. And this is a way where a child, if you haven't seen or heard of the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, we did host it many years ago through the coalition, through our Success by 6 programming. And now we're looking at doing it in a little different of a fashion where it's not just through, it's a holistic through the coalition approach. So we're looking for that, or to get that started, and that will basically send every child age birth to 5 a developmentally appropriate book that's been vetted in the mail. They get it in their name to them, and it creates the child's home library. So it encourages parent engagement, which is something you all said you wanted help with, and it encourages early literacy skills, of course. So that being said, thank you to those of you that participated. I did pull, our software has the ability to pull random names, so that's what I did. And our winners here, let me scroll down a little bit. The winners are Kid City USA 2nd Street, Kid City USA Ocala, Heavenly Sent Kids and Company, Worry Free Preschool, Creative Christian Preschool and Learning Center, Kids Academy, Graceway Academy, Lakeitha Welcome Family Daycare Home, Angels Are Us Childcare, and Triumphant Tots. You all were randomly chosen through our software, and you will be receiving a classroom library delivered right to your site. So I'm going to work on getting those ordered. That should be shipping out at some point, I'd say late next week. So thank you. Thank you everybody to participate. Let me see if we have any questions about this particular piece. I'll ask my questions box. There it is. Okay, we just got cheers and woohoos. Yes, congratulations, everybody. The next thing on our agenda, I want to talk to you about health and safety rule update. The health and safety rule update has occurred. Let me get to that section. A lot of you are familiar with the health and safety standards and the checklists that we have to use. We've been using them since 2017. That's when the first rule came out. Hold on one second. I just needed a sip. When that rule came out, there were multiple checklists and multiple handbooks for different types of providers, from the public school system to our center-based providers to our family child care homes. Now, the State Board of Education just last week, I think it was last week, I don't know, my weeks are all together. Yes, last week, has voted on this change for, oops, sorry, hold on. This updated change, and basically it's an amendment to Rule 6M-4.620. This is in the attachments to this meeting, so if you want to pull them down, feel free to download it and keep it. Basically, what the state has decided to do is combine all of those checklists to make it easier. So here you can see it addresses health and safety and training requirements for providers contracted for the school readiness program. So some of you who have been contracted with us more recently will probably recall, especially if you are a license exempt provider, that DCF came out and did a health and safety inspection before you could enter into your school readiness contract. Some of you don't even know that it happens, because if you are licensed, then it is a part of your licensing inspection already. But those that are license exempt get a different assessment that the DCF comes out and does, and you have to pass that inspection before you can enter into your school readiness contract. So this is what that contains. So the checklist is here. There was some question because this is being updated, and DCF was doing their inspections and talking about the pre-contractual training that your staff have to have. There is a requirement in here that requires it requires your staff to have certain trainings before you can enter into or before your staff can be left alone with a child that's in the school readiness program. So those are detailed in the handbook. As you can see, this particular attachment is 22 pages long, and that's because a couple of things. I put everything into one document so that you can save it on your computer, you can have it, use it at your staff meetings. This isn't good for just school readiness providers. This is just overall health and safety practices that are really beneficial to your site. So here, the condensing of this clarifies the health and safety regulations, and we removed outdated language, and trying to decrease duplication amongst rules. That was something the coalitions were very vocal about to the state when this came out, was, well, this is already a DCF requirement, or this is already aligning with Apple accreditation requirements, and so on and so forth. So now this is really streamlining and consolidating that regulation. And like the second bullet says, it's replacing 8 forms with 2. So there is a pediatric first aid CPR component now required with training. If you go through the coalition, we already offer that through our CPR courses. So you want to really make sure that when you're getting your CPR training, that it includes that other piece. So the page that you see on your screen right now is the actual checklist itself. It is only 2 pages long, and it goes through the different regulations, the ratio, group size. Oops, sorry, I went too fast. Ratios and group size for homes and informal providers, and then number 2 is the group size for facility and school age programs. And then fire safety, emergency prep, accidents and incidents, supervision, and training requirements. So that is now your consolidated checklist that you can use to help work with your staff or to go through your site. Make sure that you are doing the things that are in the handbook. Oops, I'm sorry, it's 3 pages. The next section that is on your screen right now is the School Readiness Program Health and Safety Standards Handbook. And that you can see it's updated effective tomorrow, goes into play tomorrow. I encourage you to read through this, and what we are going to do is set up we'll set up an online training for you where we review this in depth. So we'll go through each page with you, we'll answer questions, but we want you to have this now because DCF is already looking at it when they come out. They're using the health and safety guidelines, and we want you to have it because it is effective tomorrow. So let me pause. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but here is the contents that are in the booklet, and then it goes through an intro. Hopefully you will find this a lot easier to use than the previous version. Let me pause and see if we have any questions. Okay. No questions. Okay. I did show you that you have your new ELC staff listing in there. Please use that listing to get a hold of us whenever you need. Again, thank you for your patience. One thing you will see on that staff listing is that we are hiring for a lot of different programs, most of them in the quality department. So anywhere you see vacant, that's a seat that we have open. We are working really hard to try to fill those vacancies, so we appreciate again your patience with us. I'm going to go back to the agenda. There we go. The next thing I really want to talk about is reporting dangerous situations and reminding you that we are mandated reporters. Sorry, had to cough and needed a drink. We recently encountered a situation, well, it was the end of July, where a provider was put in a very precarious situation. They had a family who attends their site, and they have 2 small children that are enrolled in the program. And then there's older siblings, and it was a teenager that came in with her mom to drop off the younger ones and expressed that they were suicidal. The teenager did. What I want to remind you is that we are mandated reporters, and I want to tell you we need to get those people into the places that can help them. I am not a certified mental health professional. None of the staff here at ELC are certified mental health professionals, although we do have a certified suicide prevention person in our Help Me Grow program. We're not equipped though or qualified to help those families. So what ended up happening was the provider called our coalition, and while we were very humbled by that and very happy that our partnership is strong enough that you felt like you could turn to us for that help, I want to encourage you to call 911, assess the situation, send it to the, call the, maybe it's not even 911, but call the non-emergency helpline with the authorities, because they can then make that assessment and decide if that person needs additional help or not. We know we don't ever want to see anybody do any harm to themselves, but we need to keep in mind, what are we equipped to do and what are we equipped to handle? So I want to encourage you, if you're faced in a situation like that, just go ahead and call authorities. Let those professionals make the assessment as to what the next step should be for that person. Let me pause and see if we have any input or questions. Okay, and just remember, if you do have to make a report like that and it's about a child enrolled at your site, that would be an unusual incident, and you do want to report it to the coalition within 48 hours. And, we would like to be support for you and your team as you're dealing with these situations. So if there is something we can do, whether it's find some counseling or find some other supports to help you or a teacher through a traumatic situation, we are here for you for that. But we would be looking for those professional supports as well. So let me stop there. Doesn't look like we have any questions. Okay. We were scheduled today. I'm going to go ahead and put us down to professional development. We were scheduled today to have Jamie Harmon from the UF Lassinger Center for Learning and Academic Support. We were scheduled to have her here with us when our meeting was going to be yesterday, and we appreciate everybody's flexibility in changing in light of Hurricane Idalia. Jamie will be joining us next month, though, on September 20th, and she's going to be discussing the literacy micro-credentials. One of your handouts is the flyer for that. There is a stipend that is being distributed to those that complete this micro-credential in early literacy. And all the information is there if you want to share that. Now, this has been out for a little while, as you can see, the December 31st. So we already have many, quite a few providers and teachers who have taken advantage of this credential. It is, it's a great piece to have under your belt as a teacher and to implement in the classrooms. There is a QR code where you can learn more just by opening your camera on your phone. It'll take you right to the website. But this flyer is there and attached so that you can share it with your staff. There is, I want to say the stipend is $2,000, and I believe that they are looking to even get that stipend back to those that have already participated in this. Let me pause, see if there's any additional questions. Okay. So the last thing I want to cover is a new piece of funding that's coming out. It is the Curriculum Expansion and Implementation Study application. So DEL, the Division of Early Learning, is providing funding through the ARPA grant. As you can see up on your screen, this is just the beginning of it. It is not attached because we're going to send this out to you. But basically, we are going to send this out to you. I will probably email it out so that it's not in constant contact. I'll just send it to everybody. And this is a way for you to apply for funding to reimburse you for new curriculum purchase. So let me go back up to the top. There is a requirement with this piece to participate in a study. So the application, let me leave it right there for just a second, let you read over that. So this is open to school readiness providers and VPK providers only. You will receive some payment or reimbursement for approved school readiness or VPK curriculum. So you do have to purchase a curriculum that is on the approved list. 99% of the VPK curricula is that our providers are using is on the school readiness approved list. So when I send this out, I'll send the SR list with it, and we'll make sure that everybody has this. I anticipate sending this out probably tomorrow to everybody so you can start looking at it. If you're in the market or you've been thinking, I know that I have deterred a couple of providers from purchasing new curriculum, saying, hold on, because this is coming. Now, with this though, there is a piece here you see that says you're going to complete the project surveys within 15 days of receipt and participate in project interviews. I don't have much more information on what that is at this point. Are they changing SR and VPK lists again? It is possible that they change them because they have to be vetted out every so many years. So just like everything else, we want to make sure that the logic and the evidence-based, research-based components of the curricula are developmentally appropriate. And as different things are released and different research is done, we learn more. So different curricula update themselves, they adapt. And so the state does change that list. I believe it's every 3 years. I could be wrong, could be every 2 years. But we are due for that now. So the answer to that question is yes, they are possibly changing it. What we've seen though is that historically, we haven't seen a lot of curricula. We've seen some drop off, but what we've seen is that it's just the updated versions that are required. So this will help you purchase that. So if you're seeking reimbursement, and so DEL, what I believe is happening is that they are probably hiring somebody probably from the Lastinger Center or the University of Florida or FSU, somewhere out there where they're doing research on early literacy and curriculum and the connection to early learning. And they are, the researchers will be the ones working directly with the providers that participate in this grant. So you do need your receipt and the invoice. So we would need to see where you purchased it and ordered it, and then where you paid for it, and that you've received it. So basically, if you are interested in this, I'm going to send out the application. Let me go down to the second page just so you can kind of see. So here's your point of contact for information. So that's just your demographic information. You filled it out a gazillion times for us. And then here's the information on the curriculum supports that you would enter. And I'm going to make sure that this is fillable. And then the cost. Okay. So it's a real simple application. Let me see if you have any questions. I think I answered all of the questions. Okay, so that's the rest of the application, and it looks like we do not have any questions. Let me go back. I'm just going to put our agenda back up, and I just would like to ask you one final question, and you can put your thoughts in the question box if you have any. I really, and if any of you could hear me, my frustration was just off the charts with not being able to talk to you. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm a talker, especially in these meetings. I want to make sure we use your time wisely, and I'm 2 minutes over, and I attribute that to my technical issues in the beginning. Does anybody have any challenges with us potentially exploring switching this to a Teams platform, Microsoft Teams? If you have any thoughts, just go ahead and put it in the question box. If you don't, that is our meeting for today. And I thank you so much. And I thank my team for jumping in and helping. And stay tuned. It would be Teams, Microsoft Teams. We don't have access to Zoom. That's a whole different platform.